Hello everyone, welcome to Stick It to the Manga. This is a new thing. This is our first interview with the mangaka Kris Hornett. He's writing Gray.
Hey, I'm Kris Hornett from Cincinnati, Ohio. Working on the series Gray. I'm happy to be here.
Alright, awesome. So my first question for you, Kris, is what inspired you to write Gray and what continues to make you keep going at it?
Well, initially it was I wanted to write a series that I would enjoy watching or reading. Like, I had seen so many series, but I was like, I would love to make one that I could enjoy for myself and then my friends. So over the years, I was writing the story, coming up with characters, coming up with scenarios, but I think it took a while for me to realize the direction of what I wanted the story to seem like, or how I wanted it to flow.
Yeah.
And I would say maybe like a couple years ago, it really started to click. And then from there, we never stopped. Once it became Gray, it's just been the move. Like, everything has been all Gray and the story just started to flow, and that's where we are now.
Nice. Yeah, from what I've read, it looks like it's gonna be really fucking cool. By the way, you're allowed to swear all you want.
Okay.
This is not a PG thing.
Alright.
So if you swear, I'm not gonna be like, tisk tisk.
I got you.
But manga isn't your manga and writing isn't your only passion though. Like, I saw at the end of April you finished second at a Street Fighter 5 tournament.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
I was okay. I've been gaming probably all my life, but I would say competitively probably 2011 maybe. That's when I started going out to tournaments.
Oh wow.
In the fighting game community. And I would just say probably recently it took a back seat because I've been working on Gray, especially because of Corona and all that, so we in the house.
Oh yeah.
So but before that, it was I was going to all types of tournaments around the country, just playing Street Fighter, different fighting games.
Nice. Were you sponsored at all?
I had a couple.
Nice.
I was sponsored a few times. So yeah, I've been in it. That was probably the main thing going on in my life for a while.
So even when I went on your Twitter feed, before Gray, it was all Street Fighter 5 gameplay.
Yeah.
And I'm terrible at fighting games, so I was watching and I was like, how the fuck did he even do that?
Oh yeah, that was very serious for a while. That's all we did. It seemed like it was like a job. Basically every day, sun up, sundown, we was practicing, going to locals, just trying to get better.
Nice. So you started writing Gray a couple years ago. So my third question is this is a story you've had in your back pocket for a few years, or did it just come to you and just go?
So I would honestly say I have been writing Gray probably it's probably been about 7-8 years, really.
Oh,
it's
wow.
been different. It's had different names. Initially, when I first started it, it was called Shigendo. And I think when I was writing it then, it felt more like the shonen series that were out at the time. It felt more kiddish, more Naruto-esque type. And then as I grew, I changed the name, and it became a series called Mikyo. And it was coming into its own. I was trying to shy away from what it felt like before. But then I found out that name was already taken. And so I came up with Gray. And around the time that I made Gray, that's when it really got it. Like it formed its own identity, and it's been all great since then. So I'll probably say about 2 years. Once it's been great for about 2 years.
Oh wow, okay. So like this is like a story that you started 8 years ago, but as you matured as a person, it matured with you.
Yes, exactly.
That's awesome. So like it's definitely like a huge passion for you then.
Oh yeah, it's like my child.
um Speaking like Naruto and shonen manga, so like did any specific manga series or anime have an influence on the story or characters of Gray?
Um, I would say the one series that when it started to take shape, I would say it was a series I read called Bloody Monday.
I
I don't know if you're familiar.
Yeah,
You heard of
my
that?
my friend gave me the first volume of that for Christmas my sophomore year of high school.
Okay, okay. And so that series to me, I think that series changed my whole perspective on manga or anime at the time because, you know, usually when we was young, we had like Toonami
Oh yeah,
or stuff like that. So we had like the Yu Yu Hakusho's and then Dragon Ball Z,
Inuyasha.
Inuyasha, Outlaw Star, all that type of stuff. And I seen those, but then when I read Bloody Monday, I was like, wow, like these stories can actually get deep. Like it's not about all the powers and stuff. It's more story driven.
Oh yeah.
And that's when I was like, that's what I want.
I had a similar experience like that where I probably grew up on the same anime as you did.
Mm-hmm.
But like when I got into high school, my high school had like a huge collection of manga in their library, and like I like saw Death Note and I was like, oh, that looks pretty cool, and I picked up the first volume and I read it like that day, and I went and picked up 3 more the next day, and I was like, all right, this isn't just punching people in the face. This is actually like there's more to this.
Yes. Yes. It definitely changes your mind. When you see stuff like that, it's like, wow, you actually have to think.
Oh yeah. Like I love when a manga gets your brain working of like what's happening, where is this, who's that, why is that person important to this story, like you know, what's going on here.
That's huge. Because I feel like if you can just read it and put it down, then it wasn't enough. I like it when you have to go back. Like, well, maybe I'm on chapter 12 right now, but I might have to go back to 2, 3, or 4 and like, oh, this is what he meant, or this is what he was building up to.
Yeah.
Like, I love that.
Yeah, like I love it when a manga gets you invested. So you're just like, I need to read all 24 volumes of this before I can put it down.
Yes.
Like that's what happened to me with Death Note. I just boomed. I think I read it over the course of a week when I was in high school.
I get it. I think Bloody Monday, I started it on probably like a Friday, and I swear it was maybe Sunday afternoon, evening. I was done, and I was like, where did the time go?
You're just sitting there like, damn.
Yes.
What are your plans for Gray after it becomes a success?
Let's see. I mean, I've been working so hard in the Gray. I put so much into it. I mean, I got some other stuff that I could work on later, but like I got a few ideas, like some novel stuff. But right now, I couldn't even tell you. Like the whole focus so hard. It's been so much going in the Gray. I haven't even thought about anything else.
You're just like, this is it. This is what I'm doing now. You're focusing on the now rather than the later.
Oh yeah, I was like, man, because I've been working on it for so long that I feel like I owe it to Gray to just push everything into it. I mean, I've been working on it for so many years. Now that we finally here, I gotta put it all in.
all in or nothing, right?
Absolutely.
Gotta risk it for the biscuit. Do you have any advice for anyone who's considering becoming a mangaka in the West, in like the US and Canada kind of area?
I would say don't do what I did initially and just write. Don't write the story immediately. Do your research. Like, kind of have an idea of where you want your story to go. Mm-hmm. And I say build your character. Start with a character, build that story, and work off of that character. And take lots of notes. Make a timeline. Because there's nothing worse than plot holes.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, please make a timeline. Like, if I would have made a timeline, Gray might have been out a lot earlier in my timeline. So, I think that's the key. Just always have a plan. And don't rush the process. Like, if it don't feel right, come back to it and do something else in the story. Don't write the story until it's ready.
Oh, yeah. Like, another good resource for people would be like Hirohiko Araki's book Manga in Theory and Practice. He talks about his writing process. He's the mangaka for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Okay.
And he has a whole book that he's like talks about, you know, what it takes and like all the editing and what he does. He makes a whole character sheet for every character, like weird bizarre things that like will go into them. Like one of the main characters, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, has 3 testicles, and when he was making the character, he just like, they have 3 testicles. That's important.
That's true. You definitely, like, I got a character template, and like right when I'm making a character, they have everything like origin, race, where they from, what they've done, their alliances, their status right now, their personality traits, and then I do the bio, and I go from there. And then if I see where somewhere where I maybe can add a new character or build from that character, just all that stuff is so important. That's so important.
I think an important thing to a good story is having good, solid characters.
Yes.
Because like if you don't got good characters, nobody's gonna care about the story. Because like they're listening to this guy bullshit for 3 hours, you know.
Yeah, but you want to make them invest in your characters, like, because it could be a little thing, like it could just be one little situation that they do, or maybe they might have done something real quick in the story, a look or something that made them feel relatable, and then they got you. Now you invested. Now you wondering what's gonna happen with this character. Like, you just want to make sure your characters are solid, like you said.
Yeah. And my final question is like, what's the biggest challenge you've faced to becoming a mangaka in the West?
I think the biggest thing for me was probably what I was saying initially, was just trying not to make my series feel like another series. Like, just tune all of that out and making a story that was unique to me. Like, I feel like that's a big thing, right? Because it's a lot of series that feel like other series, and you don't want to be one of those. Yeah, you want to stand out, you know, like. So I think that was the biggest thing, but it just took experience, and I had to like tons of edits, tons of I don't know about this. Does this feel like anything else? No. Anytime I write, or when I get in the writing mode, I don't watch anything else, or I don't look around at anything else, because I don't want it to be influenced by anything other than what I'm writing.
Yeah, you don't want to read something like a Osama game, and then you're like, this thing would be really cool to put in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all I got for you. Is there anything you want to say to the people?
Oh yeah, just want to let them know. Pre-orders for Chapter 1, Hello Winter, are out now. It's available now at thegrayroom.org. The series is usually going to be a minimum of 24 pages. We'll never go under that, and it'll always be pure story. But we can always go higher. Like chapter 1 will probably be like 32 pages. Cause I know we're coming out monthly, so I want you to get it a chapter. It's almost as if you would be getting 2 chapters a month, as far as how big they are.
Very nice, awesome.
Because I felt like if I only had it to be 15 pages, I would never get these arcs done. You'd be waiting forever.
Oh yeah. So,
that's like, I think that's I don't want to make people wait because I want you to see the story.
Yeah, like I think that was another question I had for you, but I didn't want to be like, oh, tell me when you're releasing. Like, so you're planning on doing monthly, right?
Yes, monthly. It'll usually be like we're gonna do the first one July 10th, and then it'll probably always be around that time period the next month.
So around middle of second week kind of type thing.
Yeah, usually like the second week of the month we'll drop the next chapter.
Thanks. All right. You got any other social media you want to shout out?
Let's see. So you got my Twitter at Hornett with 2 T's _. On Instagram, it's the Gray Room _. Those are my only 2.
Okay. Yeah. I just had another question pop into my head.
All right, hit me.
But like, it came and then it went. And I was like, oh, what? That would be a good thing to ask. But then it flew by.
Also let me shout out my artist, Ardee, Araldo. He is the best. Like, simple as that. I can't even give him another word. Like, I don't know how else to describe him. He's the best. We've been working together since it's been gray for like the past couple years. And I can literally put anything on the paper and he can be like, yeah, I can do it. There's no problem. I'm like, oh, okay.
I got you. That's gotta feel really good that you have somebody that you can just be like, hey, I want this done. They're like, yeah, all right.
Yeah, like I said a couple days ago, I showed him a picture. I was like, all right, I want to make a scene like this. Would this be too hard? And he was like, nah, that's simple. I was like, oh, okay. So I'm thinking, I don't want to put too much on him. And he's like, it's nothing. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, that works. So yeah, Ardee's amazing. Like, when you guys get chapter 1 and you get to look at, like, you won't even have to read it. Just look at it first. And it's just like, wow.
Just from the stuff I've seen, it looks really good.
Oh, yeah.
Just the little teasers you've posted and the cover art, it looks beautiful.
I'm telling you, when I see this stuff, I'm like y'all on Twitter. Like, I'm going crazy. So, and I'm like, wow, how do you do this every time? Like, and I just give him so much freedom. Like, especially with like the cover chapters, I didn't even know what it was gonna look like. And I was like, whoa, like, so I know it's gonna be crazy. A lot of people are gonna be happy.
Nice. I'm excited. Like, okay, this is the thing that I wanted to say earlier that flew by. It wasn't actually a question. It was just kind of a story.
Okay.
It's like, when you followed me on Twitter, the name Hornett, I was like, oh shit, it's just gonna be a porn bot, isn't it? And I was like, oh damn it. And then I was like, oh, I'll see if it's a real person, because like I saw your avatar and I was like, oh, that's not a typical like porn bot thing, or normally it's just like a big boobs in your face.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh, and I looked at it and I was like, oh shit, he's a mangaka? I was like, I gotta reach out to this dude.
Well, I definitely appreciate it. I'm definitely not a porn bot. Oh man, that's funny.
Because I know on my personal account, like, that's a thing that happened all the time, was just like, hey, come share pictures with hot singles.
Oh no. Yeah, I get those a lot still. And I'm like, wait a minute. Like, I don't need you. I don't need these type of followers.
Like, get out of here. Like, thank you for the follow, but don't message me.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you for your time, Kris.
Oh, it's no problem at all, man.
I'm gonna shout out podcast social real quick. It's at Sip Manga just about everywhere, and if it's not Sip Manga, it's Stick It to the Manga. You Google Stick It to the Manga, and we're the first thing that comes up is our YouTube channel. So our socials are really easy to find. And all of Kris's and what's your artist's name? I forgot it.
His name is Ardee.
Ardee.
Yes.
And his socials will be down because I follow him on Instagram.
Okay, cool.
Because sometimes he gives little snippets of Gray as well. So if you're excited for Gray, those Kris and Ardee are good people to follow. They've got all your Gray needs. Alright. Thank you for your time, Kris. And bye-bye, manga fans.